This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
This is your shorty for May.
Wow.
Wow. Where are we?
I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, man.
But man, I will tell you, can't beat the weather. I love spring. Like
Me
it's just
too.
like warm and cozy and lovely.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm digging it. We are recording super early, so hopefully the May weather is really nice.
I know. What if we're like saying that?
This
and
is
it's
LA.
like,
May weather's always nice.
I know.
Like
weather is actually a safe bet for LA.
Yeah,
it's probably
yeah.
nice and sunny outside.
Yeah, to be honest, like May, you might be able to start going to the beach in May.
Yeah. We could
Los
actually be in the
Angeles.
pool right now.
Yeah. Oh, I am ready for pool season.
Pool
like
day.
it's so
not I.
hard.
I mean,
Oh.
am, but not.
Yes.
I am for a private pool day when no
Hell.
one else can see me.
Yeah. Let's
Nice,
do
quiet pool.
it. I have got a would you rather for you that I believe will spark a conversation because I've been
Okay.
marinating on it since I found it. Really want to hear your thoughts on this.
Okay.
We have 3 different zodiac signs, so I think that we approach this kind of situation differently. But
All right.
here's the would you rather. Would you rather tell your partner you're having an affair
Oh.
or
Oh, God.
have them tell you they're having an affair? Which is worse to you?
Me telling my husband I was having an affair. That would be worse for me.
You don't, yeah,
No. No.
you don't like disappointing people.
I do not
right?
like disappointing people. If my husband came to me and said he was having an affair, the other thing is that, I am a self-preservation person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be wrong. I also like to be the righteous one. I have a real problem with being like a bit of a narcissist. So this puts everything in my court as being the most righteous in the situation in which
Right.
I didn't do anything wrong here. And this is not my fault. And I get to walk away from this scenario.
Right. It allows
and-
you to not have to look
Yeah.
at yourself or anything that you maybe contributed
Well,
into the downfall of the relationship.
I was just
because-
going
for
to
sure.
say, I was
Right.
just going to say,
I
like,
mean, not to
nothing
say-
happens in a vacuum. I mean, not to affairs are awful, but it takes 2 to take. I've read a lot of Esther
For
Perel
sure.
lately, so I'm like in that kind of space.
Oh yeah, no, and
But-
not to say for sure that discludes me from any.
but it's mostly their fault.
But
It's
it
like
would make
90.
you feel that
Yeah.
way. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing.
yeah.
Is like when you like I totally completely understand
because I would never cheat on anybody because I feel like communication is so important. And if I got to the place where I was like ready to cheat on somebody, we need to sit down. That's a fucking problem. And that to me is like, okay, we need to communicate. We need therapy. We need to do something because if I'm feeling like I want to cheat, that's a fucking problem.
Well, you are very adult.
Okay, let's.
No,
I'm
it's
just-
awesome. No,
That's not-
I'm saying it is that way though. There are
I mean,
a
it
lot
should
of,
be that way, right?
Yeah, you should be if you're in a relationship that values communication or like both people value communication.
True.
I've definitely been in a relationship before where patterns were set where communication was not as open for various reasons. And I have been on both sides. I have told and have been told. And I have been marinating. I'm like, which one was worse? It's really, really difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's so circumstantial.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
so
true.
case by case, depending on what your relationship is like, what's currently going on in your relationship, like other emotional factors, like the degree of the affair. Is it an affair? Is it a hookup? Is it like what are we talking about? I feel like
I feel like affair to me
It's long-term.
implies long term.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it implies like an emotional,
Ongoing.
and physical, ongoing
Relationship.
Yeah.
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 I have a hard time answering this question because to me it is so circumstantial. The situation would determine which is worse, right? Like
Yeah.
which would feel worse. in the moment. I have to say, I think for me, just blanket, probably me
would be worse.
Telling would be worse.
Yeah. I agree. So we're 3 for that.
So disappointing other people is just so fucking hard, dude.
Yes. Yeah. I really don't. I don't like that
hurting
feeling.
people.
Yeah,
that's right.
I go out of my way to avoid. I'm very conflict avoidant,
Right.
and I go out of my way to avoid hurting people.
Exactly.
Right.
So like that would be very painful and very difficult for me. I feel like I can even though it would hurt, I can regulate my own emotions. I'm in control of how I'm feeling in response to this news.
Right.
Right. I feel like I am too much of a people pleaser in a negative way, like most of the time, that like I would take on the emotional burden. I would martyr myself in the emotion in that emotional space, in terms of like my ego's not too big for me to be able to not handle being told that, you know.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I feel like a lot of women that I know would have the same answer.
Yeah.
That they would rather take the hurt than give the hurt.
Oh,
yes.
God,
yeah. Take that emotional burden.
There
like,
it is.
Yes, I think that is definitely the case. I'd rather, and I do think that we are conditioned societally that way, where it's just like we will take on the problem.
Yeah.
We'll take on the problem. What's one more thing added to my burden, whatever that might be, whether it's my to-do list or it's my emotional burden or whatever else that is. Also, I mean, I do think that there's, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, but I feel like I spend a lot of time in self-reflection that like I don't think that my ego is so big that I would be like, oh my God. You know, I feel like there's a certain type of personality that would be like, you cheated on me, you know, like
Right.
where
Of
I would
all
be
people?
hurt,
No.
but I wouldn't have like that kind of
Same.
you know, response to that.
Yeah. And I also think, do you think that part of it too is like for the longest time, it was like almost acceptable for men to have affairs?
Yeah, it was acceptable. It was almost like of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Obviously.
we tend to believe societally that women are more emotionally intelligent, and therefore like we should be more in control of our actions. It's that whole like boys will be boys kind of mentality, where it's just
Right.
like, well, they just don't have the emotional
Then
intelligence.
why are
for
boys get
this.
to tell us what to do?
You would, I mean,
I
that's
know.
the question.
The end. We've ended the podcast. Bye, everyone.
No, but that's the truth. I mean, that is the question. It's just like, if we can't have it both ways, but society has somehow jerry-rigged the system for us to have it both ways, you know.
Yeah, I feel like there's another society. Speaking of, like, I know we kind of talked about the multiverse a little bit at the end of one of our episodes a while back, where it's like there's a society somewhere where it's like flip-flopped, where it's matriarchal.
Yes.
I'd like to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
want to pop in that one real quick.
Right. Well, oh, gosh, not to get into like a deep conversation about that, but then it's like, okay, but what would that even look like in a society where women haven't been conditioned this way? Like, because it's
Right.
like, in large part, yes, of course, there are
I mean, there are
biological,
still more matriarchal societies.
right? There are biological differences, but they exist within the larger world as we know it, right? Like, so it's just like there are biological differences between men and women, but as a whole, I think women are largely the way they are in our society because we've been conditioned this way,
Right,
and because
right.
of the patriarchy. So if the patriarchy didn't exist, would women even be like that? You know, like would they
Right.
lead
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
that they
yeah,
lead?
yeah,
Because we
yeah,
do
yeah.
know, like a lot of times, like women are better leaders, like in a lot of circumstances. But are they better leaders because they've had to exist in
the
in this-
patriarchy? Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's a very interesting conversation. I'm not saying I
Wow.
have the answer, but it's something interesting to think about.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I think having gone through both affair situations, I definitely, as a woman in her 40s now, I definitely am with you, Cassie, that, you know, if it even crossed my mind, like things like that, I would be like, something that is fucking wrong.
Systemically
You know what
wrong
I
with
mean?
this relationship,
Yeah,
right? From its
exactly.
core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never a situation I want to enter into on either side ever
No.
again. So now that I know,
Yeah.
like I'm going to do anything I can to avoid either one. But
It is one thing I will say about me. I won't cheat on you. I don't think I have it in me. The guilt would eat me fucking alive. And I can't keep a secret for
I was going to
shit
say, you're the
You
worst.
cannot.
You are the worst secret keeper.
on the planet. I know. Oh my God.
We would all know.
You don't,
if you did, we would
you
all
would know the minute
You
it
would
happened.
know
Yeah.
in her body language. She's like sweating. There's just like pools of
What's wrong? Nothing.
sweat circles on your armpits.
Nothing.
Just
I'm
like,
texting you while I'm
fine.
doing it. Oh my God, I'm cheating on Chris right now.
I
What?
can't even imagine that.
No. Oh
It'd be
God, no.
Wild.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, that was a journey. You guys ready to hop into some date
Yes.
stories?
I went to Escape.
Escape. Okay. I'm going to save that one for a closer.
Okay.
Okay. How about this? Just out of high school, I was asked out by a guy in police academy. He was a son of one of my mom's friends.
I'm okay.
We spoke on the phone for a couple of weeks before actually seeing each other. Let's just say I should have heeded my subconscious. He was always bragging about how tough, how big, and how smart he was. I mean, he really thought a lot about himself.
If you're that smart, you don't need to say it.
That's right.
no,
You
a
don't
lion,
need to
a lion
say it.
doesn't need to tell other people it's a lion.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shows up at my house and my dad answers the door. My dad is a giant, 6'8". My date stuttered and later said I should have warned him.
Okay, sir.
As we were driving to a movie, his tire goes flat. He had no clue how to change the tire. He didn't even know where his spare was. So I showed him how to change his tire.
Oh, I love this story so much right now.
We were too
Love
late
it.
for the movie, so he threw a fit and
Oh.
took me home. I told my parents about this date, and my dad just laughed at the fact that the guy threw a temper tantrum. My mom's friend called and told her I needed to be more feminine, or
Okay.
else I would never find a man.
This motherfucker right now. You got. Ooh.
My mother replied that her son needed to grow up or he was going to have issues. 5 years later, he was fired from the police department for pushing an 85-year-old man down.
What? That's tracks. That sounds exactly right. This big, tough fucking piece of shit.
Oh, I know. And who can't change a tire. And then fucking his mom calls me like,
You
your
had
daughter
your
need-
mommy call.
Your daughter needs to be more feminine.
Your mommy called my mommy to
I
talk about our date.
yeah.
Like that is
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 so.
it seventh grade?
Ew.
I hate
Did you go
you.
roller skating?
Oh,
hate you. I hate you.
okay. I met up with a guy to go out for wings. Before we even ate, he looked me up and down, grabbed my hand as though he was going to kiss it, and then licked it from the tip of my wrist to the tip of my finger.
No.
Is this titled "How to Make Cassie Puke on You"?
Like,
Because
Literally, first of all, if you take my hand like you're going to kiss it already, I'm like,
no, thank you.
we just met, you know? But then licked her hand.
No.
Her hand. After everything we just went through, the copious amounts of hand sanitizer we have used in the last couple of years, licking someone's hand is so gross. Also, the sensation of someone's tongue unexpectedly on my
it's
person.
awful.
Yeah, no.
it's a no. I simply said, well, I'm out of here, and walked straight out the door to my car and sanitized my hands.
Oh, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
I go, okay, well.
Oh God, that's so fucking awful.
Oh, what are you, a lizard?
What?
What
So
is it?
weird.
Why are you doing that? Where did you see that? What is your end game
Yes,
for doing
seriously.
something like that? What do you think is going to happen?
Are you just going to lick everyone until you meet the right woman who's like, actually, my kink too? Like, what
No.
a weird
No.
thing to do.
Yeah,
No.
that's not. Yeah,
Disgusting. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, I got Tinder for funsies during early COVID quarantine, and I very clearly stated in my bio that I was not sure what I was looking for. I was just goofing around and wanted to see what was out there. Matched with a guy from Massachusetts, different part of the state. He flips out on me in my DMs, telling me how all the women in Massachusetts don't want anything but sex and how we're all bitches and that compared to Florida, nobody here is fun and we're just wishy-washy.
sir, you matched with me. people that match with other people to then get into their fucking messages to denigrate them, you need to fucking find something else to do with your time.
Psychological help. You
Honestly.
need psychological help. Like that is a level of like, get a hobby. Like how do you have the time for this? How do you have the time to troll Tinder?
Uninteresting that you don't have anything else to do with your life.
That
I
is
know.
So just no.
He told me not to get my hopes up on the app because everyone is just trying to fuck me and I will face a big reality check. All I said was I didn't want to hang out with him 10 minutes after matching. All that.
It's a strong reaction.
All
Wow. Wow.
Don't get your hopes up.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Met a woman online in the olden times before dating apps. She seemed to be funny, smart, and a bit mischievous. We met at a local coffee shop and everything went well until I heard the word wedding. And then all of a sudden, this seemingly normal woman started talking about our wedding, the names of our children.
Stop.
Oh, no.
She had our future planned out. And I'm not going to lie, I fear no man that walks this earth, but this woman freaked the hell out of me. I excused myself to go to the bathroom and walk right out the door and went home.
Oh,
Never
God.
saw her again. You're on a coffee date, a first like meetup date, and you start talking about marriage?
Listen, yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
honey.
as someone with a deep internal world and a lot of imagination that romanticizes every relationship in my life,
Yes.
that is a level of just like
Pure
listen,
cringe.
Listen.
It's pure cringe. Even
Listen,
if
have I thought that though?
even if you've thought it, you don't say that shit out loud. You
That
push it deep down.
You never bring it up again.
Stuff it in your
Take
JanSport.
the key.
That's right.
Yes.
Shove it down.
Hide it in that secret compartment. And you
Never bring it up again.
Never bring
Never
it up.
bring it up. Never bring it up to anyone.
No one.
Like not
No
even
one,
your
none of your
girlfriend.
Not even
friends.
your girlfriends.
Like,
Because I'd
stop.
be like,
Are you
met him
okay?
for
Yeah.
5 minutes?
Yeah. You can Dear Diary that all day if you want, but like
I
don't,
wouldn't write it down. I wouldn't write that down.
don't put it in
Have
writing.
that.
No,
Don't put it in
that's a
writing.
fucking.
Someone can find it.
Write it down, then crumple it up and eat it.
Yes, do it. Tear it up into multiple strips. Set it on fire.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, this one's gonna make you mad.
Great.
We talked for a while and I was really digging this guy. We decided to finally hang out, but he said I had to pick him up since he didn't have a car. I went to pick him up and the first thing he does when he gets in the car is pat my belly
No.
and say, a little too much beer, yeah? You're gonna have to lose that if we date.
I swear to fucking God.
I kicked him out of the car and went to get ice cream.
Yeah.
Get the
She's like, get the fuck out of my car. Who
Don't touch me.
Who raised you? Like, it's just such a, like, what the, again, in what world does that end well for you?
Why would you ever comment on someone else's body?
No.
That's just, I wouldn't comment on
Don't
my
touch me.
on anyone's body.
And definitely
If I
don't
knew
fucking touch me.
Yeah.
There's also something very condescending about a pat specifically.
Oh,
like if
yeah.
someone pats you, top of your head,
Very
anywhere on your body, like it is
Patronizing.
so patronizing.
That's just the
like,
way he said it too.
you're gonna have to change that.
You're gonna have to
if
fucking
we date.
You're gonna have to fucking lose a hand if you fucking
Right,
come
I'm
near
about
me
to chop
again.
your hand off. Really?
Fuck away from me.
No, 'cause if they're already making comments like that, you just know that a relationship, they're always going to be nitpicking.
I mean, to be honest,
everything about
thank you for doing it the second you got in the car, so we didn't have to go out anywhere together. Like
Exactly.
I could just literally, we're already at your house. Just get out. Just
Yeah.
get out. Just go back inside.
Yep.
Went on a date with this guy. I'd been chatting. Went on a date with this guy I'd been chatting to for a couple weeks. The actual date was really good. We just had a crisp picnic and drank Prosecco in the park.
Ooh,
That does sound nice.
great.
Can we have a girl date where we do that? I just want to go to the park and
Yeah.
drink Prosecco.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we laughed a lot and it was super easy and we got on so well. Probably one of the better dates I'd been on. Night ends with some kissing and then he had to leave abruptly. His phone kept blowing up. It was weird as
Life.
a weird end as he dashed for his train looking panicked. He didn't message to ask me if I'd made it home okay, which I felt was weird. Over the next couple days, he was way less chatty than usual, and I felt like something was off. I asked him what happened that night, and he said that his friend had been rushed to the hospital, so he'd had to go visit and sit with her that night. Seemed odd, but then he sent me a picture pic of him and a girl in the hospital bed. She was looking worse for the wear, but had a thumbs up. Did some Instagram dicking, quote stalking, she said, and found his account. The girl in the hospital pic was actually his girlfriend, and she was commenting hearts and lovey stuff under his photos. So he basically dashed off from a date with me when his girlfriend was admitted to the hospital.
Lie better. Like, how did you think she wasn't going to find that out?
Hashtag relationship goals.
Stop.
Am I right?
Oh my God.
No, that's the worst. And you know what? Like, let's normalize looking at people's socials before going on dates.
Look.
We're doing it. Let's be
Yes.
honest. We're doing it. Our friends are doing it as well.
Yes.
You know, seeing if they see something that, you know, we
Looks
missed.
off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people that are married that are just out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw it live in action.
Yes, we did.
God, I can't fucking believe that.
I
still can't.
I can't either. I mean, but I can't.
Right.
Because he was totally that type.
Yes.
That was like married, literally telling strangers stories about his wife and then opening up Tinder in front of same said strangers.
Well, the first time I ran into him at the bar at this podcast event we were at,
You're like, nope.
He dropped he's one of those types who dropped a platinum Amex card right in front of me, you know, which feels like a power move. Maybe that's what he was going to pay with anyway. But when someone does that, I'm like, it makes me feel like you're peacocking. Look at how much money I have.
And there's a way that they take it out and just kind of dismissively throw
Yeah,
it. I'm not even looking at the bill. It doesn't even matter.
Yes. Yeah.
I have so much
Much money.
It's a vibe.
Yeah. I don't like it.
That's how I do it. Now, especially now that I have a heavy credit card.
You like to hear that clink?
I love that. Heavy.
Okay, here's one. She had a toxic on again, off again relationship with a guy before we met and started dating. One night, she didn't stay the night at my house, and the next morning on my way to drop off some mail at the post office, I saw her car parked at what I assume was the ex's apartment across the street. What? I wrote a scathing note and stuck it on her windshield for her to find when she went to her car later in the morning.
Oh, no.
What had happened was...
Oh, no.
He borrowed her car to go get smokes at the convenience store, and he found the note. She calls me screaming at me. Why would I do that to her? Because as it turns out, unbeknownst to me, I was the other guy.
Right. Exactly.
And she blamed me for messing up her relationship with her boyfriend.
Okay.
God.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I thought this was going to be a wrong car situation.
I did
for
too.
1 minute. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a shame receipt on his
Yes.
end.
Oh, no. Right car.
Shit.
Wrong driver.
Shit.
Yikes. Okay, this one. Oof. Ugh. Okay. So I matched with this guy on Tinder and he seemed nice. However, something just kept telling me there was something off about him. He kept getting really pushy about meeting up at places I was not comfortable with. I finally decided to unmatch him. Fast forward about a month and I'm at work. I happen to be a corrections officer at a regional jail in my area. I am working one of the male units and an inmate walks up to my desk and says he knows me. After interviewing him, it turns out it's the guy I matched with and decided not to meet. It turns out he is in on kidnapping charges.
What?
Wow.
Needless to say, I changed units and told my supervisors immediately.
Wow.
How scary, because it's like, yeah, now you have to see this person.
No.
Like, yeah, you got to transfer me to another unit. I can't see this person every day.
That's too much.
Whoa.
That's
So
too weird.
scary.
Oh, that gives me the creeps. Well, this one's going to give you the creeps too.
Okay.
He told me he knew a place and took me to a cliff at night and asked me to climb down with him to the beach below.
It's dark. Why am I doing this?
I am blind enough as it is. Like, don't make me hike anytime.
I'm a
but specifically at night.
naturally clumsy person.
Oh my God.
No.
I am afraid of heights. He tried to physically force me down the cliff, and I ended up having a panic attack and crying. He eventually gave up and took me back home, but was looking at me like he wanted to kill me. Can you fucking... I am
terrifying.
scary.
That is a disproportionate reaction to the situation as well. Like, okay, I get it. You're disappointed.
I was terrified. I was shaking like crazy. When I got back home, my then roommate was a pretty big guy. He saw my face immediately, ran out, but the guy had already gone. Can you fucking imagine?
What?
Wow.
And what? When you're sitting at home and you're like, I'm going to plan a great first date with this girl
I know a
really like
place.
on Tinder. Like, why in the world would you be like, it's 10 p.m. Let's go to the cliffs and hike down.
It
to
sounds
the
like
beach.
murder.
It'll be so romantic.
It is that's a murder, sir.
Yeah.
It sounds like murder.
Yeah.
And also, if you are
Forcing
going to
me
plan some kind of date like that, because maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe there is a chick that is more coordinated, that does hike, that likes like night adventures.
Yeah, can
like
we have
that.
a discussion about that?
This is
Exactly.
the problem.
Tell people.
I would be dead because I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting and unique date idea. So I'm not saying like that's wrong in itself, but communicate
clearly
that.
she does
ahead of
not
time.
want to do this, and
And-
forcing her down.
And
Yeah.
a first date, listen, I like hiking and stuff like that. You know, I like the beach and I like outdoor stuff. But like a first date with a
We don't
stranger,
know. Yeah. In the
No.
Okay, how about this? Worst date. This guy says, for some horrible fucking ridiculous reason, I decided to try microdosing psilocybin that day. And then somehow...
Why?
Oh,
You're going on a date. Why are you like this?
little bit.
This is not. This is not the time.
Now's not it. Now's
Now is
not the
not
time.
the time.
You could do it. I'm just saying, like, today doesn't feel like the day that you do it.
So I somehow end up defending Stalin in a Tim Hortons after we left the art gallery.
Oh. What is happening?
I hate
my
it.
Timmy Hortons, sir, you're going to disrespect Canada like that?
Oh no! You know what? Stalin actually has a pretty good idea.
Get out.
What?
He wakes up the next day like, that reads like it's a shame receipt.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my god. Okay, I have one more. For my first date with this guy, we drove 45 minutes to a lake where people were kiteboarding. He pulled out his kite and strapped in while saying, I'm still new, but I've done it before.
While saying, cowabunga!
Yeah. You can watch and go after me. I watched this dummy take a running leap and immediately get thrown 12 feet in the air.
Oh my God.
Before falling hard on his shoulder.
Oh my God.
He thought it was broken and wanted to go to the ER. We were in the middle of nowhere. He couldn't drive, and we had taken his stick shift truck.
Oh.
I tried my best to drive stick for the first time while navigating with a map to find the nearest hospital.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. Calamity of errors
We
here.
spent the next 6 hours in the ER together while I learned way too much about his medical history.
Oh, no.
And had to talk on the phone with his mom to tell her what happened.
Wow.
We never spoke again.
No.
Yeah, that's one or
We're
the
good.
other. You're married or you're
done.
like,
Yes.
no,
you
we're
shake
not doing
hands
that.
and part ways.
Oh no.
No.
What were they doing out there?
Kiteboarding.
surfing? Oh.
Yeah, kiteboarding is what it said.
Okay.
I think it's the same thing. I think
Yeah.
is it
Is it kiteboarding like on sand?
That's
or something?
that's what I'm wondering. If
And
it's kite surfing.
on water?
I have no clue,
clue.
to
No
be honest.
idea. All I know is that when you said kite thing, I immediately thought of like when I lived in South Beach, the hottest guy I've ever known was a kite surfer. Whew.
I'm looking it up right now. Kiteboarding. Oh, it's the same thing as kite surfing. That's what it said. Okay, so it's the same thing. So he did fall on water, which is better than falling on
But
sand
yeah, if
or
you're
whatever.
up in the air,
But you can
it's
hurt
like
yourself.
As concrete. It's as hard as
12
concrete.
feet.
I think
Yeah.
you can
12
kite
feet.
surf on sand though too.
Oh,
Like in
okay.
dunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I have no idea. I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
All right, I've got a doozy for you. We can wrap it up on this one.
Okay.
She writes, I was the worst first date once.
Oh, my favorite.
I'm actually shocked it's never shown up before. We had mutual friends and decided we would go out as a group to avoid any crazy awkwardness. And I got so tanked, I redecorated the bar window thinking I was outside.
Oh no.
He was designated driver, and there were 5 of us in the truck to get us all home.
Oh no.
Blackout drunk, I gave another friend a blowy while also giving a one-handed drunk shoulder massage to my date.
Wait! Oh my
no.
God.
That is so embarrassing.
As soon as the other drunk dude finished, I proceeded to redecorate the truck bed out the center window. Definitely not my best moment. She gives fucking friend a blowy and then opens the center window in the truck and fucking vomits out onto the truck bed.
Oh,
Redecorate.
No. Also, imagine
I
your
was like,
date
I don't
is
understand
giving
what
you
you're
like
talking
a passive shoulder massage, a one-handed shoulder rub.
Oh my.
In a truck.
Wow.
In front of your friends. There's 5 people.
I want to move to a different country.
I know, exactly. I
Like,
changed my name.
We've
I'm in
talked-
Alaska. I'm like Dexter. I'm in the Dexter town.
Yeah.
In Alaska.
You're
I'm
floating,
out.
you're floating in the middle of the ocean on a fishing boat alone for the rest of eternity.
Exactly.
I mean,
no.
we've talked about hangover anxiety before, and like imagine
I can't.
waking up.
No.
Like, I mean, you're done drinking for the rest of your life.
Yes,
if that
I
happens.
think I would be.
I would never trust myself again, ever.
Yeah. She did say, it did have a happy-ish ending, though.
Oh, wow.
wait.
This is a surprise.
Okay.
I ended up spending an entire week in his bed, and to the day, he is still the best I've ever had. Dylan, if you ever read this, I'm still so sorry, but also you are a legend.
I
This is a fun group of people.
This is a
Wow.
wow. I mean,
That's a lot, but he's a legend.
I do want to know what this group of friends is like. Like
No.
they are at an 11 apparently. Because like to me, I'm like, this is
a friend
this a
group.
normal night out for y'all?
Tell me you are a friend group in your early 20s without telling me you're a friend group in your early 20s. Because
I just gave this dude a blowy, but let's definitely stay in bed
Look,
for a week.
No judgment. I'm not judging
No.
anybody, but I am
I'm not
saying
judging.
I would
I'm
never have given
confused.
my friend a blowy in a car with 5 other people. That's just me, who I am in my personality.
I would like to say that I wouldn't have as well, but I don't trust 20-something-year-old me.
20-something-year-old
Who
Christina.
was
This
like,
might have occurred.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
Be honest, we had wild nights.
Wow.
That's true. Oh man. Well, if you have stories, be they short, be they long, but especially if they're extra embarrassing, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.